get a chance to speak, they forgot what they even said. So like I said, I would like for you to show me the timestamp where I said that that you, all the people listening, should go over to your channel and flag it down. What you probably heard me say, I don't remember word for word, because I got a lot of things to think about. But what I did say is, yes, that is
to attract, especially when I told
you, I'm listening in. I'm going to check my rise because I
hurt for us to take this serious, but it's fine.
I take it seriously because we had someone from my side, and it was savage, right? But said that either you or the ladies from here sent something about him to child support. So they got his name and they sent it over to child support. So it's not just one-sided.
Okay, hold on. Look what I'm gonna do, Jessica. All right, ladies. So on the platform here, we do not condone doxing people. Do not do it. It's not okay. If you do it, if I find out that anybody do it, I will completely 100% block you from the platform. So is that good?
Right, and you did what I did. I gave a disclaimer saying I don't condone doxing. So you did just as much as I could do in that situation, and you can't do any more than that.
But now your people are still doxing, so you have to put out multiple disclaimers.
All right, and so again, I can say, listen, I'm not down with doxing. I can say that.
I just want to remind you that your people are still doxing from your channel.
That's what I'm saying is that's as much as can be done in the situation, because what else can be done?
You're right.
Unless you know the specific person, what else can be done? All we can do is give disclaimers.
I guess we have to just wait for somebody, in order to put this in check, we just have to wait for somebody to pass away, or just like somebody to get legitly hurt for us to take this serious. But it's fine.
I take it seriously because I saw someone get legitly hurt. Mm-hmm. I saw that happen. Mm-hmm. So I know that people get hurt in this whole, just whole game of like vengeance. I know people get hurt in that.
It's fine.
I've seen it firsthand.
I'll let you and the pink pill do your thing. I'll remove myself. Like I said before, I want to put out a disclaimer. I do appreciate both these ladies for their content, and since I'm a man, I'm going to remove myself and let them talk, and I'm going to actually go make me some food. Bye.
Hi, Jessica.
Hey.
So before we have this discussion, I just want to be clear that I want us to have a conversation where we're not being disrespectful to each other. We're not going to talk over each other. We're just going to talk it out. I haven't seen the entire stream of this stream, nor did I see.
I don't want to interrupt you. I'm listening in. I'm going to check my rise because I burnt the first batch talking on the panel. So I'm listening in to you, okay?
Okay. So again, I just want this to be a civil conversation. I have to admit that I've come in on the tail end of this because I was in the process of looking at Eddie's prior video. And then I just so happened to click on this one and saw that I was tagged quite a bit. So I have to admit, I'm not completely in the loop on everything discussed. I only came in on the last part where Eddie mentioned that that some of your followers have been calling his mother, and your response was that you don't want to be held responsible for your followers harassing Eddie's family, but you hold me responsible for Shira 7.
Okay, so here's the difference. You know what Shira did. You know for sure what Shira did. Okay.
What do I know that Shira did?
You know that Shira doxed an innocent girl, put her information out there, right? Said that it was me, and her followers went to go and harass that woman. You know that, right? And I said to Eddie, I said, email me and show me the messages so that I know that it's coming from my followers. And that way I can deal with it appropriately.
How do you know? How do you know that I never said anything to Shira? How do you know that for certain? How do you know whether or not I had a conversation with Shira offline and told her what my thoughts were? How do you know that didn't happen?
I don't know that that didn't happen. But what I do know is that publicly, after she did what she did, you went on to talk about one paragraph and say, you know, she made a bad decision, as we all make bad decisions in our lives, and then spent the next 20 lines singing her praises. That's what I know that you did. And that was in very bad taste, knowing what she did. That says something about your character. It bothers me because...
All right, good people. Hold on. I don't know if I can hear my microphone. Well, I can't hear the microphone. I don't even see it coming in through the main mix. Oh, now I can hear my microphone. All right, listen, check it out, good people. Check it out. I had to grab this audio. It was actually conducted in a place I'm investigating, but I need y'all to hear the deflections from the pink pill. I need y'all to hear how she's going to break, how she is not able or capable. Actually, you know, well, I think that's why I got sidetracked. I want to say, Black women of America, stop engaging with these European women until you get your shit together. Y'all getting slaughtered. I'm not like being a dick about it. When we listen to you publicly engage with the European Black woman, you guys are getting like slaughtered verbally, and you're losing your cool and composure. Now, if you're wise enough and smart enough, you'd understand that these women were put here, or if they weren't put here, they're definitely being coached now. These gentlemen have revealed that continuously. This is a business to them. This is not a game. And you people are pawns. And that's why I'm thoroughly entertained by Crystalline trying to defend herself against Jessica. She's always going to lose. Now, one day I'm going to reveal this chat room, because the chat room is hilarious during this conversation. They are going in on Jessica, show your face, but nothing is relevant to the conversation. Jessica X literally slayed not only Crystalline Carrison, but she slayed the chat room at the same time. She is literally chopping down these swirl divestment sectors with basic fucking questions. And these women are getting emotional and throwing themselves to insults and belittling themselves while trying to belittle someone else. So that's why I'm playing this right now. So let's get right back to it, because I'm sure none of y'all heard this, but don't worry, never fails. Your boy's archives is being posted live on Spreaker. All right. We call it Average at Best Podcast. I'm working on getting these intros popping. Working on the website right now. Indie Dynasty is still popping. And I might even fuck with some of y'all on that music. Outside of that, fuck the rest of y'all. Let's get into this bullshit.
You saw that girl come up onto the panel. You know that an innocent person got hurt in all of this because your friend, a person that you affiliate yourself with, a person that you hold in such high regard, right, put her information out there and told her followers to go and harass her. And
how do you know she's my friend? She's my friend?
Oh, listen, Chris.
Hold on. Somebody said they saying Brits are smarter. They are not smarter. They're more calmer, meticulous, and maneuver in a way that some of us don't. See, the American Black is very emotional, very passionate. And in having debates, you know what I'm saying, and intellectual conversations and studying statistics and making sure that your point is heard, acknowledged, and that the perception of your point is considered to the person you're debating with is lost in our community. See, their society is fucking based on debate, dialogue, and how to conduct yourself in conversation. That's the problem here. That's an American problem. I'm not even going to put it on race. That's an American. You people are too passionate, but I'll give it to America in saying that I have never seen in the House of Representatives, the Congress, any fisticuffs or chairs being thrown. And if it happened, I haven't seen it. But goddamn, in every other parliament in Africa and Europe, them motherfuckers be throwing fisticuffs, chairs, shoes. So hey, shout out to America for having some kind of semblance of decor. However, when it comes to the British people, I gotta give it to them when it comes to oratorical debating skills. We're a little bit too passionate to engage with them. At the most part, you have to have a bit of intellect when you decide to engage people across the pond. And this is why Jessica X is rolling through like fucking King Arthur or some shit. Well, Joan of Arc, she's flying through like Joan of Arc and shit with the sword, just slicing down motherfuckers. Let's listen to her do it again. Because Crystalline came on this podcast and in engagement and say, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. I don't want to raise our voice. I don't want to cut off. Crystalline came in setting the rules, terms, and precipice of how this discussion should have gone. So let's listen to it.
Lynn, do you want me to bring up your community tab? Give me a second.
I know you don't.
I'm going to read out
the words that I say out of my mouth.
No, but you said,
I'm aware of
that
the words that I say and the words that I write out of my mouth.
You're saying, how do I know that she is your friend? Here, I'm going to tell you, this isn't how people talk about people that aren't their friends. So give me.
Can I hold you? Okay, because you're really good at monologues. I don't want to interrupt you, but here's the thing: what you saw me write is not what people write about their friends. What you saw me write is what people write about people that they admire. And I will say this again: I don't think what Shira did is a good idea. We are both content creators, and I handle my business and how I feel offline, and I'm not subject to you, and I don't answer to you, okay? So you don't know what conversations I had offline with her. And I'm going to tell you this: I don't agree with what she did. I don't condone what she did. I have had conversations with her offline, but that's our business. And you don't have any authority to tell me how to handle business with other content creators. And to be honest with you, I've only just started talking to Shira a few weeks ago. I admire her. We're doing, we may be doing some projects together, but I barely know her. So in the way that you don't want to be attached and blamed for what other people do on your channel, then I would ask that you extend the same respect to me. And if you can't, just know that you're being a hypocrite.
Okay, and so perfect, because what I did not do was hold you responsible for Shira's actions. Because that day when you came onto my panel, I didn't hold you responsible for doxing that girl. Not at all. So I'm not holding you responsible for the actions of others. I'm holding you responsible to a certain extent.
You did, Jessica.
The pink pill, I did not interrupt you.
Everybody,
the pink pill, I did not interrupt you. Okay.
Yes, but I'm going to have to.
I'm not holding
you. Touch in. If you're going to tell an untruth, I'm going to have to jump in. And you're telling
what I said was I did not hold you responsible for doxing that girl. Tell me how I held you responsible for that.
Okay, how about attaching my name to it from the very beginning? People in this chat are telling you did do that. You have tagged me on videos. You tagged me on that video. You peppered my name throughout that video. That is exactly what you did. You did hold me responsible. So listen, If you're going to, if you want to hold me accountable for the things you say I did, then you need to be held accountable for the things that you've done. And the people in the chat are saying that
the pink pill,
exactly what you
we
did.
all know how audiences can be very biased. So my video that day was called The Desperation of the Sisterhood, right? And I tagged you and I tagged Shira7. The reason that I tagged you is because the last live that you had done with Shira7.
Wait a minute. I think y'all didn't hear the shit that went down earlier. So let me see if I can find. Hold on, let me turn up the beat in the back. Music is loud to me.
I definitely wanted to tell you. So I've been watching you for years, and I am one of, I can't bear witness to the pink pill. I am engaged to a high value white man because of a lot of the advice that I learned from your channel. And I will say this, that I was very tempted to create a YouTube channel to kind of get in on the conversation. But because of a lot of things that I've seen happen with all of the content creators that I like you and Chrissy, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not in.
Oh, shit. My shit just died. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can find Crystal's shit.
You encouraged followers to mass flag my video. You both
wait a minute. No, now you're lying
yes,
again.
You did.
Now you're lying again.
Yes, you did.
Jessica,
listen, the pink pill, I just let you interrupt you again,
every time you lie.
This
every
is not the
lie,
behavior
I'm going to interrupt
of
you.
a femininity coach. Okay?
Every time you lie,
so
I have to stop you.
In the video with Shira, you sat there and you said, right, the way to handle this is that YouTube does not take flagging response. They do not take flagging seriously when it happens from one individual. Okay. And you said the way that it's actually effective.
I don't know what happened.
Give me a second. Okay, do you know what? I'll come back to that afterwards. You said the way that it's effective, right, in order to get YouTube to remove content is when a lot of people go over and flag en masse. Okay?
I want you to find the timestamp.
I've got it in my video. I've got it in my video.
Jessica,
and do you know what? I will
please stop lying.
I will replay it, the pink pill, to prove that I'm not lying, okay? Because you were speaking about how people had gone out of their way to find your daughter's information, something like that. And you were talking about how it's unacceptable, and usually you would deal with this by flagging, but when one person flags or a few people flag, it's you know, to no effect, and that it needs to be flagged en masse. And so I'll do a video about it today, and I'll play that clip, right? That's what you said, okay? So you were encouraging people to go and
Jessica,
flag
this isn't your
in high
platform.
numbers.
You need to let me
numbers.
speak. Okay, Eddie,
you've interrupted me numerous times. You've interrupted me. I hadn't even been able to finish my point because you interrupted me 3 times.
Because you have a long monologue, and I told you that I'm going to have to interrupt you when you lie.
Okay, and you said that I lied about the flagging thing, and I'm showing you how I didn't lie. And I said I'm going to clear that up by playing a clip, right?
Okay.
I'll put
Let me know when you're done so I can speak.
And so initially, what you said is that I held you responsible for Shira7's actions. And in fact, I didn't. What I was holding you responsible for in that video was encouraging people to mass flag other channels, which is against YouTube's policies and guidelines. Okay, that's what I held you responsible for. And that's why when I spoke to you that day, did I say that it's your fault that girl got doxxed?
Oh, am I supposed to speak now?
I asked you a question.
Okay, so I'm not answering your question until you let me speak.
Well,
This
if
is
I
not
a- if I
this
ask
is not
you a
the Jessica
question,
X
Pink
channel.
Pill,
This is
it
the
obviously
Eddie and Dean channel.
indicates. If I ask you a question, it indicates that it's your turn to speak.
Okay, so then it's my turn to speak. So let me back up. Starting
I wasn't
from
the one
when
interrupting.
you're
You were.
lying. So where you just did interrupt. What are you talking about, girl? You just
No, I waited for a pause.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's how conversation works. I don't usually talk in monologues so that people can't get a word in edgewise. And so here's why I have to interrupt you, Jessica, is because you'll do these long monologues. You're very good at that, doing long monologues so that people can't get a word in edgewise. And then by the time they get a chance to speak, they forgot what they even said. So like I said, I would like for you to show me the timestamp where I said that that you, all the people listening, should go over to your channel and flag it down. What you probably heard me say, I don't remember word for word because I got a lot of things to think about. But what I did say is, yes, that is the way YouTube works. And if there is a channel that's being abusive, if there is a channel, and I'm talking about in general, not your channel, okay? I'm talking about in general, that is how YouTube works. So I want you to show me the timestamp where I told legions of people as a general to go over there and flag your channel. That's what I want you to do the video on.
So is your monologue finished? Because you just went on your own monologue, right? To talk about something that I just said. You went on that whole monologue to ask me to basically give you a timestamp. When if you were listening just before that, what I had said is that I'm going to play it in a clip tonight. So you can see the timestamp and you'll be able to hear it actually out loud then. Okay?
Okay, I would really like to see you show me a timestamp of where I said the people who are listening to this live stream right now to go over to Jessica X's channel and flag her channel into oblivion. That's the video I want to see.
I told you. I never said that you said that, did I? I told you what.
So you're going to do a video. Wait, hold on a second.
Let me
follow up.
What
Let me
you
follow
said.
up. Let me follow up, Jessica.
Anybody, no, can you let me finish, please, the pink pill? Anybody with half an ounce of sense can gather what you were saying when you said that. And that's why in the comment section, along with it, en masse, just as you wanted, the ladies were asking, give us the video of, put the link, tell us who it is that you want us to flag. So you gave the message in a way that, you don't have to explicitly say it. It was implicit. So now you're a tea leaf reader? The followers...
You're a tea leaf reader now.
The followers got that information loud and clear. And we know that because they responded in the comment section asking which videos and which channels needed to be flagged. And in response to that, Shira said, I'm going to link those channels underneath in the description, right? I'm going to pin it in the comments, sorry.
Shira said.
After you had both said,
Shira said.
On the pink pill. After you had said. After, and you admitted, right? You admitted that you said this bit. You admitted that you said that when one person flags on their own, it's not effective, and people need to flag in large numbers in order for a video to be taken down.
Sure.
Do you acknowledge that you said that? Okay.
I take that back.
So
I'm talking about general things.
Right.
I'm talking about in generalities.
Right. And you acknowledge that you said that. And in response to your statement, the women in the comments responded by saying which videos and channels need to be flagged, right? To your statement, that was their response. So as I said, they got the video, they got the message that you were giving loud and clear, and you and Shira were complicit in that. And that's why when they said, what videos and what channels need to be flagged, Shira said, I'll do you a favor and I'll pin it in the comments underneath that video. So we know what happened there. It's very obvious what happened there. So don't try and take any sort of moral high ground. Anyone with half a brain can see what went on there. They can see what happened.
Jessica, okay, so are you completed with your point? I just want to make sure.
The silence indicates yes.
Okay. So you mentioned that any person with half a brain can divine reading between the lines. That's interesting that you say that, because you just did a video on me where I was talking to Eddie about the situation with Chad Wheeler, and you implied that I am white male identified because I did not come out with a video talking about domestic violence or domestic violence as it relates to Black women in love relationships. Also, in that same video, I don't know if you played all of it. In that same video, I gave 2 examples where I talked about, listen, sociopathy, narcissism, all of those things they permeate, they go beyond race, they go beyond class, and everybody is vulnerable to those things, and you have to be careful. And I gave 2 examples of really bad white men that I came across that I said were no good. The first example was somebody who I coach, and here's the thing, when I tell when I coach Black women, I usually don't tell them to leave their marriage. That's not a responsibility that I want to have on me. But in this case, I knew he was abusive. I knew what he was doing to her, and I told her to leave. So what you did to me, and what you often do to me, is that you pick and choose and twist the things that I say to fit your narrative. And you want to sit up here and say that in the 10 years that I have had to deal with the type of people who your followers are, it is insulting, and you are being deliberately ignorant about who I am. I have had notes sent to my family, to my neighbors, to people who I'm doing business with, lying on me. I have been doxxed. I have had calls. I have had death threats, all because I'm here to help Black women. And you come along and you assert that I don't care about Black women. How dare you? How dare you? I risked my life. No, don't interrupt me. How dare you? I risked my life to do what I do. So if you're going to say that I'm giving white men passes, then you need to tell it all. I don't report on domestic violence. I don't report on swirling going wrong. I don't report on Black love going wrong, because I would be here all day. You steady put words in my mouth. You steady twist the words that I say to fit your narrative. And you're going to sit up here with your 25-year-old know-nothing self and tell me that I don't care about Black women after the blood and sweat that I have been through for 10 years. Girl, sit down. Sit down.
So let me ask you this. Would you be here all day? Would you be here all day talking about swirling gone wrong? Because you said you'll be here all day talking about Black love gone wrong. Would you be here all day talking about swirling gone wrong?
I just want to add in like something because a lot of my comments are my emails are blowing up. It's ladies. You don't need to worry about like how I'm good. I'll be fine. These men, listen, they're obviously low down criminals and are crazy as hell to think to defend somebody over YouTube. Like me, Jessica, and the Pink Pill, we don't know each other. Like we're just like in a YouTube space together, and it just happens to be that we're in the same bubble. So, ladies, I get that you're concerned, but I got this. I'm a man, even though I'm a little feminine.
So to answer your question,
I was gonna listen. There's no need to go at it so aggressively, okay? I was just going to repeat the question just in case you forgot. You said,
when you
I
say
know,
something
Crystalline,
against my character, I'm going to be forceful.
Just as you're aware, just as you are aware,
my character, I'm going to be forceful.
Crystalline, I was just going to repeat the question because just as you're aware that I'm a younger lady and you feel as though I lack life experience, I'm aware that you're an older lady and that your memory is not that great. And that's why when I go on my monologues, as you said earlier, you find it hard to remember what I've just said. I get that, okay? So I was only going to repeat the question.
You didn't have to. I remembered it. So you don't have to repeat the question.
I know you struggle with it. I remember the
question, so you can be quiet now and let me answer the question.
Ladies,
I know you struggle. You said just a minute ago you struggled to remember.
Hold on. I want you ladies to keep it above the ground. I want you ladies to please keep it classy because you both are classy ladies. Let's keep it classy. We don't gotta attack each other's ages and all that other stuff. Like
oh, she likes to do that.
You brought it up first, the Pink Pill. You said that I'm 25 and I know nothing.
Listen, I said that we're gonna keep it classy on both sides. So let's just do that. Let's do that. Let's we have a lot of following, Jessica. You even have a woman following too. So we both gotta show the subscribers that we can actually get to a thing here to keep it classy on both sides.
Okay, Eddie, I want to apologize. I get very, very emotional and defensive when people attack my character and what I try to do for Black women. Jessica has no idea the hell I have gone through on YouTube. Jessica, you really have no idea. Now, to answer your question, would I have as many swirling gone wrong videos as I would have Black love gone wrong? I would say from a statistical standpoint, no. And here's the reason why. Because by and far, the majority of Black women deal with and have relationships with Black men. So the ratio would not be the same.
So it's fair to say for that reason then that the reason for domestic violence being higher amongst Black on Black couples as opposed to white on Black couples is not because white men are any better or less violent than Black men. It's actually the proximity factor, and it's the fact that they're in relationships with them.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's the case because Black men make up 8% of the population in the United States, but they make up 35% of people in jail.
That's not the question that I asked you.
No, that is the question. I can't. You're asking you're asking from a statistical standpoint that I can't give you a definitive answer, and you know why.
I'm not asking you from a statistical standpoint. I'm saying that you obviously understand the statistical the statistics, right? And you understand that the violence is higher in Black on Black relationships, right? When we're going off overall numbers, the violence is higher because there are simply more women in relationships with Black men.
No, let me tell you why it's not related. Because Black women have the highest domestic violence, partner abuse rates of women overall. Overall. So that means that the men that Black women are paired with abuse them more than white women. The Black men that Black women are paired with more are abused more than Hispanic women, more than Asian women. And that is a statistical fact. Black women have the highest rates, the highest.
And
so it is more than
fact.
just proximity, Jessica.
That is a fact. And here's what we do over on my channel. So we study and we look deep into those statistics. And I don't spout statistics that suit my narrative or anything of the sort. And so what you find is that unemployment rate, right, is...
Hold up. I was waiting for one of you beautiful black queens to come up in here and say that. Now, she came up in here, Chocolate, I'm talking to you. You came up in here and said, we stalking, or I'm stalking your channel. This happened on a gay black man's channel. Now, let me be a real dickhead. The gay black man is actually a representative for you black women that want to leave outside the community. Yes, he is your new leader. At first, I thought it was Black Women's Fair. No, she's been cast aside. Crystal and Karazan to care that today. No. It is Idi Amin. Crystal and Karazan, you need to learn how to read. You need to learn your history. And you need to figure out what the fuck that man wrote in his title and or name. It is Idi Amin, named after a black African leader. But we're not going to talk about that because that is the gay community, the LGBT black male community. You know, the ones that be smacking the holy fucking shit out of black women. The ones that be roasting the holy fucking shit out of black women live, publicly, on air, and everywhere else. Yeah, that's who we talking about. So, Miss Chocolate, when you come up here and say I'm stalking y'all channels, what do you mean, y'all? This is a black man's channel that I'm playing right now. This is a black man. Now, he doesn't understand that he's dusty. I get it. He out there in Long Island. He might feel good. Bullets Gotti is from Long Island. Nigga, dust is dust. Dust is amongst and found everywhere. Now, as I've been told, heard, figured out that all black men are dusty. So I figure if I collect the most dust, I could be the richest, dustiest nigga in these streets. So hey, check it out. My Cash App is vdbubboogie. Show me some love. But I'm going to have to present some of this information. Chocolate, can you give me a reasonable response as to why we are actually listening to the page of a black man right now? This is a black man's page. This is Idi Amin's page, Chocolate. We're not in your space. This is a black man's space. I don't see him as a Fruity Loop, a tangerine tangler. I don't see him as a Tutti Fruity, fresh and fruity. I don't see him as nothing but a water sniper about to be mad, but a West Indian. Nigga Jamaican, he's sweet. No, he Bayesian in Jamaica. Some shit like, I don't give a fuck what it really is. Nigga West Indian, he's sweet. His brother's probably not. His mother's probably whatever. But I'm going to tell you who facilitated this. Oh, let's play the videotape. Kristen,
twice as high in the black community as it is in the white community. Okay? And what you'll find is that
hold on. Before you go, realize I was never trying to be your brother. I got two beautiful black sisters, and I don't need any more. I'm good. All right? Yeah? Let me to read. Yeah? No. I don't need any more sisters. I got enough. We have to protect it. I got a lot more brothers, but check this out. I wasn't here to protect you. This is not about your protection. This is not about your safety. This is about the failure of Crystal and Karazan while trying to promote. She needs a public relations representative because whatever's going on and whatever she's trying to do is failing. And that's not my fault. If you're mad that I'm showing her failures against another black woman, these are two women going, if you're mad at me, that's the problem. I get it. It's the black man's fault. We don't build anything. Hold on. Let me go find. I want to make sure I say this man's name perfectly right. Because they said that black men don't build anything. And I don't even want to mention George Washington Carver what was his name? Percy. Hold on, it's Percy something. I want y'all to all, when you get it, I'm gonna pull this shit up. Percy, this shit pull me up. Percy Julian. All right, let me pull up this documentary. I'm gonna post this shit right now, right? Because when my show done, why don't you take your ass over and fucking learn something? You and your dusty ass compadres, you and your motherfucking crystal swirls and your love M's and the rest of these dusty ass, the diamond princesses that want to come up here and talk shit about your Delphias and shit. Y'all want to come up here and talk about black men. I want y'all to realize, recognize, and understand what the fuck y'all talking about. Hold on, let me grab this motherfucking link right here. Boom. All right. I'm on the Mac right now, but let's talk about who the fuck is the man. Cause half you bitches, if you had a baby and you took steroids, there we go. You had a baby and you took steroids. If you had a baby and you had to take steroids during your if you took birth control, if you did these two things, I need you to shut up. Whenever saying, did black men ever build anything? They built enough for you to have your child or not have your child. A black man was at the forefront of that. And if I'm fucking lying, I just dropped the link out here in the chat room. I'm gonna put this link up here right now. It's a video and it's on YouTube. It's by Nova. He's called the I was disgusted when I found out that everybody praised George Washington Carver, but this is the nigga. This is the nigga. It wasn't George Washington Carver. This is the nigga. But now, see, we want to play games with. Yeah, I see another person dropped off. They like the drama. They don't want to hear the history because a black man built it. Chocolate and cream. They don't make that kind of ice cream. We're going to go back to this real shit. Let's get back to this live stream.
Between men being unemployed and domestic violence. In fact, the majority of cases...
So it's not their fault then?
Hang on. No, that's not what I'm saying, and you have to let me finish the pink pill. I did not interrupt you. So there is a link between being unemployed and domestic violence. The majority of incidents of domestic violence happen when the man is unemployed. Okay, and because there are twice as many unemployed men in the black community as opposed to the white community, there's a higher rate of domestic violence overall. But what you'll find is that the rate that it happens amongst unemployed men is exactly the same for white men as it is black men. Exactly the same. And that shows us that it's not a race-based happening, okay? It's not a race-based occurrence. It's something that comes down to the guy's productivity, i.e. he's unemployed, okay? So if you get with an unemployed black man or an unemployed white man, you are at exactly the same risk of facing domestic violence. However, it just so happens because there are more unemployed black men that it's higher with the black community, right? The overall rate. There's twice as many unemployed black men as there are white men. So I'm saying that to say this. You can actually avoid that high domestic violence rate within the black community if you simply do not choose unemployed men. And you can avoid it in the white community if you simply do not, engage in relationships with men who are unemployed. So that comes down to us as women simply choosing better. I will link, Eddie, just quickly, I will link those statistics in my video. Along with the timestamps.
I know that you're really good with the statistics and stuff, but I think that I'm not going to speak for my page specifically. That's why I don't that's why I really don't push women going after black men, because I know specifically the statistics that you're proving says that a black woman has a higher rate of dating unemployed black men than dating other groups of men. So I don't, you just kind of prove my point on why the strategy should be to open up your options.
Eddie, do you know how you avoid that? by simply not dating unemployed men. And
Yeah,
I've never advocated for women dating unemployed men.
I never said that you did. I never said that you did. What I was saying specifically, if we're talking about strategy here and women dating, we do know that there's a lot of unemployed Black men. So that woman.
I wanted to say, I'm sorry to interrupt because can I say something? Can I address it?
That means that 87% of Black men are employed, and your chances of encountering domestic violence is exactly the same. So it's not about avoiding Black
it's not,
men.
Because there's more white men.
No. But the rate of you happening. No, Eddie, what this means, right, is that your chance of running into a man who is going to be abusive or violent is exactly the same. And the way to handle that...
It's not the same if you're all Black men.
I just explained to you the statistics, right? And so the way that you deal with that is not through race, but through you as a woman or as a guy, by dating men that are employed. That's what the statistics show. Basically, it's not about white or Black. It's saying do not date men who are. What I'm saying is it means don't date men who are unemployed. Don't date men who have no job.
I just want to add on to that. So if we're talking strategy here, we do know that there is not a lot of Black men in America, right? and a lot of those Black men are unemployed, right? So if you want to talk about and you want to kind of date a man who's actually going to do for you, you would open up your options, because there is 2 million more. I think I'm not going off. I'm just going off my head. There's 2 million more Black women in America than there is men, right? There's Black men. So it would be opening up your options. And I think that's what we all kind of portray here. I think that you're more so on the Black side of things, hopefully telling these men that they should do better so that they can actually have conversations with women. And I'm just going to speak from my content. I'm saying that that women should open up their options, because you can't kind of wait for these groups of men to kind of improve, because you'll be old and dusty by then.
Right. And Eddie, like when I was speaking to the Pink Pill before, she told me that there is the same number that you did, that there's a 2 million man deficit, right? And so, of course, in order to not end up single, you have to explore your options. And I'm not against that. I'm not against that at all. Explore your options. It's better to explore your options and actually have a successful relationship than it is to say, there's a 2 million man deficit, so that means 2 million of us are going to end up single and alone. That just doesn't make sense, of course. You're going to go and try and find yourself a man.
Okay, can I speak?
Go ahead,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be patient.
I'm gonna leave. I'm
trying to be patient, but I want to address that. You admitted that Black men have higher unemployment rates. You admit that unemployed men in general engage in domestic violence. So basically, you are proving me and Eddie's point by saying that if Black men have higher rates of unemployment, and if unemployment is attached to domestic violence, then perhaps you should date men who have jobs. And my entire channel is about selecting and vetting quality men. Never have I ever told Black women to date unemployed, dusty baby powder dusties. That's what I call them, baby powder dusties. I have never done that. And what I have said is that Black women, the numbers aren't in your favor. You have less leverage if you exclude other races of men because of the deficit that we all agree is there. And there are other statistics that lead to that. You should date all men. And so I deeply, deeply resent you saying that all I want Black women to do is date white men. You do it as an argument because you're feeding fresh meat to your audience and you're not being honest. You're not.
Can I ask you this? Before I brought up the link between unemployment and domestic violence, were you aware of that information?
I don't think that's germane to this conversation, because all I did was just use your words and use your example. It doesn't matter.
I just
It
want
doesn't
to
matter.
Question. If
It doesn't matter.
you're open, it's a simple yes or no. Were you aware of the link between unemployment and
chocolate babies? I don't. So one of the arguments I hear is, if I marry a white man, I ain't gonna have black ashy babies. I'm not gonna have them chocolate babies. I don't know. So did you hear that when you were out doing your tour? Thing is that you think about the cost, and I think that it's important to point out too that we have a very high out of wedlock rate. So while our marriage rates are low, we have a high out of wedlock rate. So what is the cost long term of children who are born in single parent household, just so you could say that you had your black ashy chocolate babies?
Now that everyone's finished listening to the audio inserts that I have included at the intro of this production.
Okay, so I'm really just kind of sick and tired of holding my tongue about the whole Ahmaud Arbery situation. You know, when I did my original video about him, you know, I kind of held back on what I really felt about the hypocrisy of the black community and pro-blacks and how they advocate so strongly without having any information on the case. It's just whenever a white man kills a black man, it's, hey, let's attack. It's kind of like a mob mentality way of thinking when it comes to the black community and how they support just an invisible issue with black men. See, here's the thing. Ahmaud Arbery was no motherfucking saint. You know, I did my research before I did the first video, and something in me told me to hold back. I don't know if that was me just, you know, I'm trying to go in a whole new direction and how I approach, you know, just my blatant just lack of like no patience that I have for the black male collective. But here's the thing. See, black people will blindly support a black man, even though the footage is right there in their face. But let's look at a case that wasn't blindly supported by the black community and the footage was right there in their face. See, Jasmine Elin was raped right in black people's faces, but I can recall a lot of pro-black platforms disparaging Jasmine Elin and openly saying that they didn't believe that she was raped. But see, here we have Ahmaud Arbery fighting, attacking two white men, and the white men get the better of him, and still Ahmaud Arbery is a victim, right? But we see the video. We see who was the aggressor. What we saw in that video was Ahmaud Arbery running up to a man tussling with him, his son sitting in the pickup truck. You could tell his son was just sitting there like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? Should I help my father? Should I not help my father? It's his father. This is a retired DA, someone that obviously had an issue with Ahmaud Arbery, right? Because there was somebody trailing and recording. So see, that's what we saw in the video. But see, we saw that in the video and we still somehow painted Ahmaud Arbery as a victim in the black community. But when we saw Jasmine Elin being raped, touched, being taken advantage of while she was inebriated, we still made excuses for why that happened to her. And those excuses lied in the fact that it was Jasmine Elin's fault. See, the black community just makes it really easy for me to make my points when it comes to this whole cape that extends miles and miles and miles and miles and eons long for black men. And, you know, we never seem to talk about black on black crime or how black men really are the biggest murderers of other black men. But see, the black community won't talk about that. All they'll do is point out the fact that Ahmaud Arbery was killed by a white man, a DA, and his son. And when you watch the video, all I see is a black man that attacked somebody, and then the son protected his father because his father was being attacked, even though his father had a shotgun in his hand and still didn't use it. His son used it. Would you do that if your father was being attacked by someone? Would you, if you had weaponry in your hand, would you use it? You know, I'm really sick and tired of the narrative that black men are just, oh my God, they are so attacked and white men are hunting them down. They actually use the word hunting him, which really peeved me. Bullshit. This is Black Woman Sphere. You guys be easy.
The audio that you just got finished listening to was produced by none other than Black Woman Sphere. Now, I was intending to initially make a video, or I attempted, or I should say I made a recording, where I was going to address Black Woman Sphere and two other black female YouTubers in this video. But after attempting to make the first recording, it was going to be way too long, so I'm deciding to make it into a 2-part video series. I should have that video up sometime later during the week or sometime by the weekend. Both videos will be pertaining to this tragic situation that happened to this brother, Ahmaud Arbery. Now, this audio, or the video, I should say.
Domestic violence before I just gave you that information.
Not the specific study, no, but that does make common sense. I mean, this is one of those are one of those studies that's like, hey, we did a study and we realized that grass is green. Hey, we did a study and we realized that drinking coffee can give you the jitters. Hey, we did a study that said that, drugs are bad.
I just want to add
two things.
Can I add on something really quick? And I just want to put out the disclaimer is that we do talk about violence from other races of men. Well, on this side of things, because I mean, we just did a whole video on a man who is clearly not black, who supercharged you money and talked about abuse. So we do talk on this side of things. We talk about Dusty, and I think the Pink Pill supports the channel. So I'm just gonna say that.
And that's why I never, when I made that video, Eddie, I didn't address your comments. I addressed Crystalline's, and so Crystalline, it's either one of two things. Either I am more informed.
And let's talk about what Edie just said. He's like, hey, someone who is abusive gave you money in your super chat. That's one of your followers. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. My God. Dude. Son. Because apparently New Yorkers say son still. I haven't met a New Yorker that said son in the last fucking 10 years. But, all of you who say son, I guess that shit rocks. Listen, Eddie, whatever your name is, you gotta stop the bullshit. Like, everybody's caping for this bitch. This bitch is caping and she's sitting here lying and never mind.
Than you are when it comes to racial dynamics, right? And relationship dynamics. Either I'm more informed than you, right? As a 25-year-old that knows nothing, I'm more informed than you, or it's that you actually knew, and as you say, because you try to ride the fence with your answer, or as you say, you already knew about the statistics because it's common sense and everybody would know that. So how comes when I asked you earlier on, right, is it fair to say that you have just as much chance as encountering domestic violence, right, in the black community as you do the white community. You weren't able to answer that. You weren't able to just say yes. You have an equal chance. That is true, because you just said the statistics that I gave are common sense, and the statistics that I gave show you that obviously, given unemployment rate aside and the link between domestic violence, because we all know that and it's common sense, you're actually just as likely to encounter domestic violence with white men as you are black men, right? You said that that's common sense. So how comes when I asked you that question, you were not able to say yes? Because that would have been your answer if you, as you say, it's common sense and you knew the information. You can't have it both ways, Crystalline.
Okay, so you've said right 4 times in this, and so I'm gonna respond to the 4 times you said right with wrong, and wrong, because you know one statistic that I
getting dragged right
did
now.
not know off of the top of the head.
Dragged
does not mean you know more than me. Okay, you may be, I mean, that's ridiculous. I know how to bake a cake. So because I know how to bake a cake and you don't, that makes me smarter than you? Come on. Now here's the thing. Like I said, again.
No, I know how to debate. That makes me smarter than you.
Rates of domestic violence, the rates of partner and the rates of black women actually being killed while they are pregnant, carrying the children of their partners, is highest out of all the races.
Shout out to those who's listening.
That's what I said
to this fucking podcast on some regular basis. Shit. This shit's getting numbers for no fucking reason
what
whatsoever.
You're trying to say
but I'm gonna keep promoting
that if black men were employed, they would not do these things. And I'm telling you, you don't know that. That's what I'm saying to you.
The facts say
otherwise. You don't know that.
I do, because the facts show that.
You don't.
I do, because the facts show it.
No, you are using 2 separate statistics. What you're doing is what you always do, and it is a logical fallacy where you are taking 2 separate facts and incorporating them and saying that this is the solution. You're saying that X plus Y equals this, or X plus Y would eliminate this. And what I'm telling you is that you
is breaking down.
Don't know that.
I do know that, because just as you read statistics, right? You read the factual information and you're able to gather certain conclusions from that. Right or wrong, you use statistics to come to a certain conclusion. Right or wrong?
No, you're not gonna do this. This is not your channel. And
I'm asking you a question. I'm saying,
and I don't want to. I'm not going to go down the leading and loaded question game with you.
I don't want to make an assumption. Is it because maybe intellectually we're not on the same level?
Okay. So that's your second dig at me.
I
will give you the first dig because I cited your age. But this is the second dig you've done at me. Jessica, this isn't your channel, and I'm not playing. I don't want to play the loaded leading game. I will say this again, okay? Black women have the highest rates of domestic violence
and where's my donation?
Imposed against them than any other race, whether the man is employed or unemployed. You are trying to make the argument only unemployed Black men beat their girlfriends' asses. And I'm telling you, you are wrong.
That's not what I said. I said, right, that if you're with a man who is unemployed, you are more likely to face domestic violence. The majority of domestic violence happens when a man is unemployed, right? The rate of domestic violence, and as you said, women, more women pregnant, murdered by their husbands, more women who face domestic abuse in the Black community, all of that stuff. That happens because the domestic violence, unemployment is twice as high in the Black community. Do you understand that link? So you're saying it, and I'm actually explaining the context behind it. So when you're saying that it happens at a higher rate, yes. And I'm actually explaining to you why. So what I'm doing is I'm furthering people's knowledge here. And because at face value, when you give your information, the way that people may take it is that Black men are more violent than white men.
Damn. Listen, I'm trying. Ooh. Hey, I know there's some sneaky divestors in my shit right now. Listen, all I'm saying is tell Crystal to never engage anybody in the Black manosphere. I'm gonna have to go get the baby in a minute. I hear her crying. Tell her, don't engage. You oppositions, the ops, are not winning the argument. Obsidian doesn't have to speak. O'Shea doesn't have to speak. They have unleashed the Kraken. The Kraken in which her name is Jessica fucking X.
And that isn't inherently true. What is inherently true is that unemployed men are more violent than employed men. And so the way to get around it is not to avoid Black men and go and date white men.
It's to open up
right. Well,
the way to deal with it, hang on the pink pill. The way to deal with it is to avoid men who are unemployed. That's the way that you deal with it, because you see, when she gives out her information, and she proved this by, the coaching session that she had. When she gives her information, it makes it seem as though white men are a better option than Black men, right?
But I'm saying it specifically, but statistically, as we speak about facts here, white men are a better option. Like, why do we keep going back and forth with this? It's the truth. You legitly just proved the point of what we're saying. And we don't only talk about white men. I'm talking about me in general. Right, because there are more white men who are employed, right? Yeah. And they earn, I think, $10,000 a year more on average. Mm-hmm. And so when you want to look at it on face value like that, okay, but do the women who want the white men, do they have access to them? That's a very real question that needs to be asked. All right, so I live in New York, right? And New York is a very mixed place. You can get a white man just by walking on it, and you can vet him appropriately and see how much money he makes. It's not that hard. Mm-hmm. What happened is, Black women are so loyal to Black men that they feel the need that they just would take any man, right? Like, they would just any Black man, right? So I'm trying to, personally, because I don't want to talk to the Pink Pill channel, I'm specifically here trying to tell women to open up their options, because you have a better options of getting a good man in general if you legitly just stop focusing on Black men.
Right. So here's the thing. Again, I'm telling women, don't date men who are unemployed. Don't date the drug dealers. Don't date Pookie. Go and date productive Black men. And that way you eliminate things such as the higher rate of domestic violence. Oh my God. Right. But then you do have women, and Crystalline's coaching session is proof of this, okay? You do have women who hear the information, and because she gives out certain statistics, and she says, Black women are more likely to die at the hands of Black men than any other race. Black women are more likely to experience domestic violence at the hands of Black men than any other race, right? And on the face of it, that's true. And so when you give a statistic without full context, what that means is
context. Because when I get the statistics, and now just because we're not giving out the facts the way you want us to, that'll make them wrong statistics.
No, because here's the problem. Here's the problem. When she does that, and we have proof of it, when she does that, people are thinking, okay, I need to avoid Black men, and I need to go and date white men.
Jessica, right? That's okay. You cannot.
I would like to say
something. I would like to say something. You force people to have to interrupt you. You force people to have to interrupt you.
Force you
so I
to
would
do
like
anything.
to speak now.
You are interrupting me because you cannot control yourself. That is not
No, I'm
me to do
interrupting
anything.
you because I've put the timer on. Right? And you've been speaking for a straight 4 to 5 minutes. That's why I'm interrupting
Eddie just spoke 30 seconds ago.
Yeah,
so how could I speak straight for 4 minutes?
Prior to that, you were speaking. So you're taking this is an example of what I'm talking about, where you're being intellectually dishonest and disingenuous. You use the things that I say against me to further your narrative. And the example is of the woman who I used as an example to extrapolate and expand and suggest that all of the people who I teach think this way. Because one woman now you're being unfeminine, Jessica.
No, Crystalline, you established the rule that when somebody said something, you established, I'm going by your rules.
You guys here in the chat,
you said when somebody says something that is untrue, you were going to jump in and correct it. You established that order. So I'm simply following your rules. So if you feel like I'm being unfeminine right now, it's because I'm following your lead. Okay?
So what if I said that's not true?
What I did not say is that all of the women who are following you have that notion or that idea. I said it's a mindset that is present within your followers. And the fact that you had that coaching session is proof of that, okay? And so it's, even if it's only one other woman, let's go at the very lowest number. Even if it's one other woman who you know is listening to your message and getting the idea that if they go over to white men, they're not at risk of domestic violence. If you had any sort of moral compass and you actually really cared about domestic violence, you really cared about women getting hurt, knowing with proof that there are women who are taking your message in a certain way, you would go to your channel and you would give a disclaimer and you would say, ladies, you are going to face domestic violence with white men just as you are black men. It happens with white men too. Okay. You would do that, but you couldn't even admit it. When I asked you earlier, you couldn't even say it.
Okay, so a lot of my fans, I'm not going to answer your question. I'm gonna let my fans answer the question. I know they're in the chat.
It was a statement.
So here's the question for all of you guys who follow me. Yes or no? You have heard me talk about this particular girl. I did a whole video about this and instructing you on this, instructing you that just because a person is white, that doesn't mean that they are better. I want the ladies in the chat who follow me to answer yes or no if I have ever said that you need to vet white men less because they are white. I would like for to take a moment. Have I ever said or implied that you should date white men because they will abuse you, whatever it is? Do I not say that you have to vet all men? Look at the answers. So these are people who follow me, who follow my channel and actually listen to the words that come out of my mouth. And if just like you don't want to be held responsible for the crazy people who follow you and misunderstand what you're saying, because we can play that game, Jessica, with you. We could play. We could say that the men that you facilitate an environment that cause these men to do these things. And what I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is
That's
this. You're
all.
interrupting me again. You are so
No, but
rude.
you just had your 4 minutes and you stopped me at 4
But
minutes.
I'm
earlier.
not done. I'm
But
not done.
I wasn't done, but you
I'm
stopped me at 4
not
minutes.
done.
I gave you exactly.
Okay, let
just
me
turned to 5 minutes now.
finish. Let
You
me
had
finish.
5, I had 4.
Let me finish. Okay? Let me finish, please. And then you can have the floor. For once and for all. And if what I say after this, you're still unclear about my platform, I'm going to be really confused. I advocate that Black women date and entertain their options for all men. I tell Black women to choose the best man for the job, regardless of color. I advocate Black women to date quality men, and within that quality also includes employed.
She just said it.
Okay, so if that's the case,
okay, so now, okay,
if that's the case, right, then you would be, if you encourage all your women to date employed men, then you wouldn't need to bring up the higher rates of domestic violence within the Black community. You wouldn't need to do that because that wouldn't be an issue if you're advising women to date employed men. So it means that the reason that you're bringing up the domestic violence rate within the Black community is because you're trying to, demoralize Black men. You're trying to put Black men down.
Okay, no, Eddie, I'm sorry. I have to catch her on this. If you encourage all women, listen, the pink pill, you just spoke for 6 minutes and I want you to give me the courtesy of allowing me to do the same. So you can make a lot of the insinuations about my content, about what it causes, about the type of people it attracts. You can make a lot of assumptions. What I can say for a fact, right, and you can say for a fact as well, is that there is proof that because someone has listened to your content, they have gone out there and got their face caved in from a man. No,
and
that's not what I said.
Your content.
That's not what I said.
Crystalline,
I never said that he beat her.
Calm down.
I never said that.
Down.
No, what we're doing is when you lie, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something.
Down.
I never said he beat her. I never said
calm
that.
Down. Okay.
You didn't ask me what kind of abuse it was.
Calm down.
You didn't ask me. You didn't ask me.
Okay. Just chill. Yeah, I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish my statement.
Me.
That's okay, Crystalline. I know you're upset right now.
Ask me.
You're
emotional.
I'm
not upset. I'm annoyed with you for lying. I'm annoyed with you for lying.
Hold on.
I'm not upset.
Emotional,
I'm annoyed.
And somewhat triggered.
You are a fly. I'm annoyed by you.
Let's listen to Eddie for a second.
Hold on. Let's. We can't overtalk each other. And I'm sorry to. I'm not trying to because I hate y'all know how I feel about women. I don't. Can we? All right. Let's clear it. Let's clear the air here. Let's start from the beginning. How can we come to an understanding so that we're not attracting each other on both sides? This is I want women to be able to do work on their side and women to be able to do work on both sides, because it needs to happen. So how can we get to something just common ground so that we don't have to keep going back and forth? Because like I said before, there's content from both sides that I like, but I can't y'all don't need to continue to this war. Y'all have work to do. Pink Pill has work that she's doing, which is she has plenty of success stories. Jessica, even, I don't know if you want me to talk about this, but I've seen men on your side. I hate to do this to you, but I see men on your side that have done their work and that legitimately come to your channel to do their work, even before I was on YouTube. So how can we get back to the work? Because that's what needs to get done. I know we do a lot of trolling on both sides, but we need to kind of come to a conclusion here, because we can't, like, I don't want this back and forth. And this is me personally. I don't want y'all to be going back and forth on channels, and it's very dangerous, right? We saw that plenty of lives on both sides were affected. You even see how my life is affected. I mean, I don't care. I don't care. I just find it funny that these men, or even women too. I didn't even post the women, but some of these women too come on and attack me. But how do we come to common ground? Pink, I'll let you first, and then.
Can I go first? Because I was meant to.
He just gave me the floor.
Listen, Crystalline, I'm just talking to Eddie because
he just gave me the floor, though.
I was
and
meant
you just
to
jumped
get
in.
Crystalline, please. Okay, I was meant to get my 6 minutes, and I didn't get it because you wanted to bring the conversation
Is it going to go back?
around.
Is it going to go back? Are we going to go forward? Or are we going to go back? I don't.
No, we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward. So I'm saying that I came into this conversation because we're talking about how to, settle things. I came into this conversation actually willing and trying to come to some sort of conclusion, right?
You're still willing?
Yeah, I'm still willing, but I feel like it kind of went off track because first of all, she was interrupting me.
Yeah, but
then she said that
we both interrupted each other, right? Like
she initiated this. That's what I'm saying. She interrupted me first. She told me that I'm 25 and that I have no experience to be doing what I'm doing. And she told me that I know nothing.
Y'all both took digs at each other. We know that. What are we going to do going forward? Like, how are we improving things for women going forward? Because you both have a following of women, and they don't need to really see this stuff. They need to see y'all doing y'all work. So how are we going to keep it classy? How are we going to do more for it? So like, we don't have to keep going back and forth with this content. I mean, it does nothing but like distract the people who actually need to do the work.
Yeah, I think the pink pill was chomping at the bit to, throw a suggestion in. So I'm just going to let her go ahead and, say what she thinks.
Okay.
Okay. So
you gotta
that was, but Eddie, I just want to say, like, that was another dig at me. So she says she wants to move forward, and then she says a passive aggressive comment. So I'm sorry if I don't put a lot of stock in her motivation, but I will say this, Jessica, if you were not aware before, so here's the thing, I have never done a video criticizing you, not ever, not one. I could name numerous videos where you have come after me. So I don't make it a practice to go after other Black women on YouTube. I just don't. And I think that the way that we could move forward, if you actually just listen to what my mission is. Now, here's the thing. We're both content creators. And look, sometimes we get it wrong, right? Sometimes we miss the mark. We're not always right about everything, right? But I think that you have to look at the person's overall body of work and what their desire is. Like I said, I have not done a single video on you, and you have done several on me. And so what I would like is if you could extend the same respect to, if people aren't bothering you, if people aren't harassing you, if people are letting you be free to create your content, why can't you then extend that to others? So like, I'm trying to display a level of courtesy by not doing what you have been doing to me.
Okay, so I always say this, I am a mirror, okay? So I'll greet you with the very same energy that you set. I'm going to go by your standards that you set for yourself. And so you're saying that I made a video about you, and that is wrong. Do you think me making a video about you is wrong because I'm a woman, or it's just wrong in general?
What I'm saying is, if you do a video about me and you say that I am white male identified, and if you say that I don't care about Black women, that is an attack on not only my business but my character. When you tell people that I'm in here for just for the money, when it was only 2 years ago when I started actually making any type of money. And you don't know me, Jessica. You're taking these inferences.
Kristen, I'm sorry, but you had your turn to speak.
You asked me a question, and I'm answering
this is what I'm trying to, because I'm trying to get just a clear, concise. It's a yes or no question. Is the reason that me making videos about you that it's wrong? Is that because I'm a woman and you're a woman, or is it just in general?
Being well, I think that that's an interesting question. I would say in general, because if you're going to do a video about me and you make assertions about my inner thoughts and my inner life and what you perceive to divine what my motivation is, that's where I take issue with.
Okay, so thank you for answering. Thank you for answering the question. So you think that it's just wrong in general to make a video about somebody else, and that's not what we should be doing.
Okay, see what you just did?
However,
you took it to be something general when we were talking about me.
However, right? It wasn't a problem when you were making videos about Kevin Samuels.
Wait, hold on. I want to stop there. I don't want to go into other content creators and like try to bring Kevin Samuels into it and all this other stuff. That it is, they handle their own. That's his own beef. And it's teaching with the Shira Sevens and all those other people. I don't want to talk about the problems anymore. I would love for you ladies to just legitimately talk about the solutions. What's the solution?
I am, but I'm just pointing out her hypocrisy, because the first thing I said is that I go by the standard that somebody else sets. And so she's saying that one, just in general, it's wrong to make a video about somebody disparaging their character. But when she made a video about
Eddie,
yes, you did. You said that I was attacking your character, right?
Wait, I don't want to. Let's please, ladies. Let's talk about the solution. That's not we keep talking about problems. At the end of the day, going forward, what would you like to see from each other going forward? Jessica, go.
I'd like to see her stop being a hypocrite. That's what I'd like to see, because it's very easy.
That's an opinion.
Right, it's an opinion, but I was just going to back it up, because she said that I made videos disparaging her character, right? And what I did was ruining her brand, etc., etc. However, when she made videos about KS, calling him gay and trying to dismiss what he was doing over on his platform, yes, you did.
No, I didn't. Please show me the timestamp.
Jessica,
don't worry, I'm going to do a video.
Are we basically saying that we're not going to come up to any solution here today? Because I'm not going to have like a whole...
Here's the thing, Eddie. She didn't provide a solution. She basically said,
but
Jessica...
You're providing the solution first. You have to
say... No, I told her, like, because...
But saying somebody's a hypocrite is not something nice. Let's keep
what she said, right? Because what she's essentially saying in that statement that she just said right there is, I want to be able to do one thing to other people, but don't you dare do it to me. That's all I heard from what she said.
So there's
she's asking me not to do the very same thing that she's done. And I'm
Can I speak? First off, you asked me a loaded question. Okay, so I picked in general because in general that I'm saying in regards to me. You then expanded that to be about everything when we were just talking about me. You made the question about me. You asked me, do you have a problem with me doing videos about you because I'm a woman or just in general? Those were the two choices that you gave me. And then what you did, which is what you often do, is then extrapolate that data to talk about everything else to use to your advantage when we were talking about me.
Yeah, so I did ask you in general, and that means that generally you think that it's the wrong thing to do.
Oh my God.
And so if generally you think that it's the wrong thing to do, for you personally, listen, for you personally, you think that it's the wrong thing to do, then why did you do it to somebody else? And that's why I said you're essentially saying, I want to be able to do whatever I want to other people, but don't you dare do it to me. That's what you're saying.
Okay, so can we
see, this is what. So everybody sees this. Everybody, I'm so glad. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
Listen, the pink pill, as you said earlier, that these are all your followers, right? These are all your
many
followers,
of them are my followers, yes.
Right, many of them are your followers. So of course, you're going to get a certain response from the audience here because they are your followers.
How can we, but here's the thing though, like how can we legitly just have, so is there no way we can have peace on this YouTube sphere? Like, can we just like review each other's content without having attacks on people's personality, on people? Like I do reviews all the time. And like, listen, when I did my video, when I attacked somebody, I did another video and I said, you know what, that's not right because I don't want it done to me. At the end of the day, things happen, right? So going forward, can we just like have a peaceful, can we just continue to go back to doing our work? Can we do that? No.
Well, listen, I will say this. Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I will say this, Jessica, I will continue to make videos about I will continue to allow for you to live your life and think what you think and not use my platform to try to harm you. So that's what I can do on my end.
Thank you.
Okay, and on my end, I'm going to continue to follow Crystalline's lead, and I'm going to review commentary that is happening on YouTube if I feel that it's detrimental to women, I feel that it's not good for women. I'm going to continue to give my opinion on what I think is a better way for women to lead their life.
Cool. Well, I mean, that's as long as nobody is as long as we're not condoning people attacking each other, and that we just keep. I think we can stay in our lanes and just laugh. I mean, I find content. I don't find the content. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real. As a man, when I watch, I know I don't know y'all personally, but like. I feel like that we homegirls and homeboys and friends from all parts of the earth. But it bothers me as a man to see women who are doing work on both sides, like, be in distress and like, you know, make commentary and do things that are not, especially when you ladies are both educated, right? And we continue to deal with fuckery. Let's keep it real. And I just want y'all, I just want us going forward to legitly like just keep it clean. Keep it clean, because I saw how dirty it can get. Like that's why when I did my video, I legitly brought it back to the men. I mean, Jessica, I usually has clickbait, but I brought it back to the men. I usually has clickbait, and then I brought it back to the men.
Do your thing.
And it's the same thing. Like when it comes down to other comments, we use each other as clickbait, but we need to keep it clean because we do have families. We do have on both sides. We do have families. We do want respect, and we don't want to. We have an audience to basically show that we are bigger people. We don't want people to think that we're going back and forth and we're beefing and doing all this other stuff. Like, come on now, let's keep it.
And I think, you know, there are, and we do keep it on a certain level. You know, you'll make a video and you'll critique my content, and I do the same. So I'm like, you know, no hard feelings. That's what we're doing. And if you see, I'm never going to attack anyone's family. I'm never going to get, you know, I'm not going to stoop to certain levels. I don't do that. What I do is I focus on the message and I focus on the content, and I leave it at that. You know, even with Crystalline, that's, you know, I've never hit beneath the belt. It's not something that I do. So yeah.
I just want to add on. I just want to add on to this. I'm not gonna. When it comes down to men, I'm gonna go below the belt. But when it comes, because I don't want y'all to hold me accountable to this too. I could be a little messy, and I'll take the karma to it. But when it comes down to y'all have bigger platforms, and listen, y'all doing y'all work on y'all side, so that's fine. But I'm here to legitly come for the men who are doing wrong. That's it. On both sides. But I appreciate both of y'all. Are we good now?
I'm good.
Like I said, I will continue to do what I have been doing, and that is leave them alone. You know, I the only reason I've got into this conversation is, you know, I was summoned. And so, Jessica, I will say this, that if your aim is to help Black women make better choices in mates, and to adhere to a certain standard, and to, you know, sort of just, you know, make better decisions, then I support that. I don't really support going after people and making widespread assumptions about them. You know, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to question your motivation in any way. I don't have, like I said, there's a lot of people who may, you know that you have your detractors, and so do I. And so what I would say is, I do have a question though. After this conversation, you mentioned earlier that you're going to go to your channel and do a video. So I really just want to ask you, like, how do you think that would be helpful to what Eddie just presented in terms of moving past things?
Just to wrap it up and clear up, you know, because when we're on a platform like this, and I'm saying that, just take in the beginning, for example, when I was saying that you encouraged people to mass flag my video, and you were saying, no, I didn't, where's the timestamp? There are a lot of people that can look at that on face value, and it's like, okay, the pink pill is telling the truth, because I'm not able to provide proof of what I'm saying. So I want to be able to provide the proof. I want to be able to provide proof of that. I want to be able to provide proof for the statistics that I've given. I want to be able to back my argument up, so that when people hear what I'm saying, they can see that I'm not lying, and I can rest easy then. As long as I know that, you know, I've put enough out there, I can rest easy in that.
And
okay, so I'm sorry, Eddie, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
So then after that, then you're done?
Depends, unless you say something outrageous.
Okay. I will say this too. Just to go back, Eddie, I know you don't want to go back, but I just have to say this because I wanted to say it and I couldn't get to this. The problem with the link between unemployment and domestic violence is that you are taking a correlation does not equal, does not equal causation, right? And so, what you're saying is that in order for what you say to be true, then you're going to have to prove that the majority of domestic violence cases involving Black men involve them being unemployed. And so that's the only thing that I was going to say, is that if you're going to make a link between unemployment and domestic violence, then you're going to have to prove that the vast majority of the Black men who use violence against women have no jobs.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I would say. And I will say this, that you, in your own words, admitted that Black men have higher unemployment rates and therefore are riskier to be with, and that employed men in general are a better bet. So I advocate. I just want to be clear, because you said that you're going to do a response video. So I just want to be clear that I do not advocate that Black women date any unemployed people, period. That is not something that I believe is an act of hypergamy. My goal is for Black women to choose the best man for the job, period, the end. And if that's a Black man, wonderful. If it's a white man, wonderful. If it's a Mexican, Latino man, wonderful. I want Black women to be happy. That's it. And so I just want to express that to you, so that when you do put your video together, that you will at least be honest about what I'm actually saying. Yeah. And I would consider that just basic human decency. And it's not about, oh, we're women, or, let's treat, we're women, let's be good to each other. That's just basic human decency.
And I'm going to just say, I don't mind the content. I think it's funny. I just had to do the video. I think I legitimately do. I mean, when it comes down to reviewing my videos, I don't mind, because like I said before, it gives me followers. But when it comes down to when I was just a little appalled today. And like I said before, Jessica, it's nothing against you because I know it's your following. But I was just a little appalled today when my mom called me and she's like, who the hell is Jessica? And I was like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, that's messed up.
And I was just like, what is going on? and I had to I had to wake up and see if you did any other videos, because it was like, damn, like, I know that and I'm not trying to say that you sent them. I'm just trying to say that, like I said before, I don't care if I don't care about the content, but what I don't like is the attacks on families. Even though at this point, I don't care what they say about me. Like, when your subscribers say things about me, I can care less. I'm like, it's funny because I know that's not you saying it. And we had conversations before about this, and you even warned me, and so did Pink Pill warned me too, that people are going to come for me. But I just don't condone the family thing, and I think that we all have an agreement to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really do.
I will say this. I will say this. If I want to say something nice, because I think that's important. I don't think that people are all bad. I will say that, Jessica, you are an extremely intelligent and definitely a good debater. And it's interesting.
Not better than me. I'm kidding.
and it's interesting to watch. I mean, like, literally, you might want to consider becoming an attorney, because you do argue, whether the points are right or wrong, you do a really good job of presenting it. So I always want to try to find the positive things that, because people aren't 100% bad. I don't believe you are some mustache twirling bad guy that ties women to the railroad tracks and want them to get run over. I will say this: I apologize for knocking you on your age. That was not appropriate. But I will say this in regards to your age, is that there's a lot of things that we learn over time. There were things when I was 25 that I just knew that I knew that I knew, and that it was only the life lessons of just keeping on living and having the privilege to be the to look back and see what I've learned. So I would just say this is that, it is not me saying, I said it in a disparaging way, but I'm just saying it now, just as I have a 23-year-old daughter, so she's your age. And I would just say that, over time, there are things and opinions and stances that we have when we are in our 20s that we can then reflect on when we're older. And so I would just say that, just be open to keep on living and just having life experiences. And, just like I didn't know everything at 25, it's not a knock on you to say that you don't know everything at 25. And that's not being, I'm not being disparaging now about it. I'm just telling you.
No, I get you. It's like growth, learning more. I get you. I get you as we get older.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I've gotten things wrong a lot. And so I'm grateful for just the development and growth. I'm grateful that it's not too late for me to make adjustments in my own line of thinking. And I think that just in general, if you don't grow, you die, right? So while I don't appreciate how you come at me, that's not going to take away from the fact that you're a smart girl. And if that's you in the picture, you're also a pretty girl. I have biracial daughters, and so I want to just leave it with saying something kind. And even though I don't agree with your position on me, I think that it is more important to be kind and to find the things that we have in common and that we appreciate.
Okay, so thank you for that. And then it's nicer that we can end things on a nice note rather than the energy that we had before. So on that accord, I'm going to make the video tonight, and after that, I won't make another video on you. Okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jessica.
No problem.
I'm gonna chime in here because I see the comments are like blowing up. I want you to understand, this is how ladies, if you have not saw what just happened just now and the classiness that both of these ladies just threw out there, then you have to go back and do your work. Because at the end of the day, this is what it's about. And I know the content of drama sometimes is entertaining, but when it comes down to both of these women, they're doing work way different than just the drama. And I'm kind of glad that this came together. So as long as we have a clear understanding, we're all good. We're gonna go. Jessica, and
I should apologize for the age comments, because it was petty, and you're a gorgeous lady, no matter how old you are, so I want to apologize for that.
I appreciate that, sweetie. Thank you.
You ladies are so beautiful. I'm like about to I didn't expect nothing less from y'all, but I really think that y'all did a wow. Ladies, I hope y'all watching. This is the things that need to happen in public, because sometimes we're so focused on tearing each other down that we don't realize that it's better if we just sometimes agree to disagree, but just leave each other alone. That's fine too. But you ladies, thank you so much. You have a good day. Wow. Wow, this is beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to keep this video up. I'll probably just keep the peaceful part. Sorry, I know how.
But I also wanted to say too, Eddie, you are a star. You really are, and it's just something that I pick up and that I see, and whether I like Jessica's content or not, she also has it, and so I will just say, Eddie, that you are such a refreshing addition to this community. And you guys, if you haven't seen, if you're still on the fence about what Eddie is trying to do, I don't know. I don't know. But this is great. I'm glad that you and thank you for extending your platform for Jessica and I to have a conversation that was contentious at times, but leaves us all, I believe, hopeful that you did that. So thank you.
And you ladies are both welcome. Like I said before, I watch both of your content, and like I said,